Getting jerked around. It's the MO of a good fishing rod. Today, we bend the rules to see how St. Croix fishing creates a legacy, one rod at a time.
Plus a little plastic perfection. Goodbye milk jugs. Voila lumber. Yes, you heard right. Buy the Yard recycles waste into outdoor maintenance-free furniture.
People are passionate about outdoor equipment. Get this, Americans spend more than $20 billion a year on gear. But no one ever really sees how their stuff gets made.
Well, that's where we come in. Each week, we throw open the factory doors and give you a behind-the-scenes look at how your favorite gear is made.
Made for the outdoors. There's just something about the feel of a fishing rod. In the boat, it's like an extension of your body. Not just a tool or a simple purchase, but something deeper, part of our DNA, especially when you see how they get made. Park Falls, Wisconsin might be America's ruffed grouse capital, but the sign only hints at this area's biggest claim to outdoor fame. See, out on the edge of town, this building, home to one of North America's most storied fishing brands, St. Croix.
It just becomes part of them. It's got the look, the feel, it's everything they want. So it's been wonderful.
Rich Bellinger works at St. Croix Rods. He vowed to show us St. Croix's biggest and best kept rod building secrets. The first might be carbon fiber.
Yeah, it comes to us just like this. When you look at carbon fiber, there's two layers of material that are applied. You've got the carbon fibers, which all run linear tip to butt, soaked in resin, and then what we call a scrim cloth is applied to that.
Workers cut and lay out individual sheets. Air suction holds the fabric in place, and the cutter works quickly.
It's our automated pattern cutting machine, cutting out the individual pie-shaped patterns for a specific rod. Every rod is loaded into the computer. Plug it in for the model, it'll automatically cut the shape of the pattern for that model.
Once cut, the pattern pieces go into the staging area.
Everything's got a shop order attached that gives them all the specifics.
Workers match specific carbon fiber cut patterns with these specially designed steel rods. They're called mandrels.
This is the blueprint for the blank. If this isn't right, your blank's not right. So essentially, this is what we designed.
The team attaches the carbon fiber to the mandrel edge, and then they drop it in this machine. Jack Robinson rolls St. Croix rods, one after another.
That's not what I pictured. I pictured you having to get it just right and get the air bubbles out.
Workers then cover each rod blank in cellophane tape.
Once this step is done, it's going to ensure that when that part is in the oven curing, it stays to that exact form of the mandrel. Once that batch is done, it'll hang in the rack, and then this whole rack will wheel out into the oven.
The blanks will cook roughly 3 hours in a giant oven.
As soon as the part is cured in the oven, it'll come out. While that part is still warm, we have to pull that core, that mandrel.
A quick shot, and the rod pops right off.
There's your blank.
Ready to roll.
Almost. We need to sand it, paint it, trim it, and then we can assemble.
You know what's amazing? It's not like 4, 5, 6, 8 steps. It's like dozens and dozens of little things.
Up next, the lasers.
Take a look in. So what we've done, we've built the laser stations. We'll find the straightest edge of this part, and we'll mark it with a small sticker so that when it goes through the rest of the process, everybody knows where they need to position it in their laser for reel seat, tip top, guide alignment. Saves us a ton of time.
It looks super high tech.
It is high tech.
From there, workers stack the blanks and cut them to size.
Is this a rough cut or is this getting it exact?
This is the final cut. All right, so you have your final length cut. But what you're gonna do is bevel that edge slightly so it's not a sharp edge.
It's just step after step after step after step.
And the best are still ahead.
Amazing.
As St. Croix rods slowly and methodically come to life.
And it's a tool. Used properly, lasts you a lifetime.
Made for the Outdoors is brought to you by Splash Products, Access Covers, and by Game Fair.
In Park Falls, Wisconsin, workers craft up to 800 St. Croix fishing rods a day. With the blanks built and trimmed to size, it's time to add color.
Oh, look.
Painting process.
That's it?
Any color you want.
Workers pull on paint using a homemade squeegee, a simple but effective system to completely coat each rod.
We'll hang it on the clip. It'll run through a continuous feed oven.
Is this how you paint every rod?
Yeah.
Really?
After the part is dipped, it'll run through a continuous feed oven. It's like a snake on the inside, a serpentine belt. It takes about 25 minutes. When it comes out, it's cured, ready to go.
So it's dry.
It's dry.
But just to make sure the paint cures, rods get a scratch test.
We want to make sure that finish is all the way properly cured 100%.
While we wait on the paint, I spot something a little bit unusual. Meet Hal. I call him St. Croix's robot angler.
What we can do with this, simulate hook sets.
Engineer Jason Brunner might be Hal's best bud. He runs rods through Hal's toughest test hands.
And then we'll take it to the point of failure to look at our load weight. So we can't go in.
Whoa! Whoa!
Starting off a little stiff there, huh,
All right,
Chief?
it passed. Didn't break, did it? No, it didn't. So how long has that rod been on this machine?
I think this is about the 4th time I've reset it at 3,000.
St. Croix perpetually tests rods to make sure they pass muster. After all, anglers have a reputation for being a bit tough on gear. Anyway, back to building fishing sticks. From paint, St. Croix blanks go to another room where a team starts on the handles and the reel seats.
Cork hull comes in with a standard inside diameter, and then we drill it to fit the blank. But it comes in pre-formed, just like that.
Tom Robinson sands cork.
Oh, wow.
Then comes this gooey process.
Glue.
Every model is plugged into the computer, and it's going to give us the exact amount of glue required for that model.
Computer-controlled gluing reduces waste and makes a much smaller mess.
Well, if the rods are pretty easy to build, it can easily do 800 a day.
Workers now sand down any imperfections. Then, more black lights and, yes, lasers.
After it comes from the handle area, we need to mark the blanks for guides. And then she'll mark along those blanks with a UV pen where the guides go.
This is almost intimidating. I mean, really. You see how much is going into this process, you think, I don't want to touch the thing, I don't want to fish with it.
And it's a tool. Used properly, it lasts you a lifetime.
The last step, well, of course, each rod needs a name.
This is,
Final inspection.
again,
Again.
One more quality check to approve the rod, the guides, the alignment, every detail. And then,
Tag and bang.
rods get boxed up and ready to ship. But before they go in the mail, most take a rest in inventory.
This is the boring part.
you said this is the boring part. This is about the best part.
This is the candy store.
Oh my gosh.
The candy store.
How many rods are sitting in here?
Right now, there's probably about 100,000.
Holy smokes.
St. Croix keeps plenty of rods on hand for just about any order, ready to go out the door to anglers with a dream. That moment.
That's good.
fishing's most profound when anglers head for open water. We fish for the sensation and the magic cast, which leads to this. The thump of the unknown out on the end of the line.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, we're gonna need a net for this one. Finally, you're smiling. That's the first time today.
And you caught the fish.
Well, of course. Good golly. Is that big enough?
That's big enough. That's 19.
19, I bet. Mm-hmm. I want to put him on the board. Oh,
pretty close
just
to 20,
under
isn't it?
20.
Yeah.
But good golly.
That's why we fish, and exactly why St. Croix is in business.
It just becomes an extension of their being, it becomes part of their personality. It defines you.
Up next, got milk? Gallons upon gallons of empty milk jugs are recycled to make our second product. After the break, we'll show you By the Yard's furniture formula. Welcome back to Made for the Outdoors. So whether you're on the porch watching the birds, in the garden watching things grow, relaxing poolside, or warming up by the campfire, comfort is a necessity.
Hi, Lindsay. Welcome to the By the Yard showroom.
It almost feels like you're outside. So we're actually gonna learn how this furniture is made today?
Yes, but we're going to do you one better. We're going to have you make some.
By the Yard is located in Jordan, Minnesota. Their secret family recipe crafts outdoor furniture. And the main ingredient is not wood, it's plastic. Founder and president Deb Anderson built this business from the ground up.
When I was younger, I was a very naughty girl. You can probably tell. My punishment was cleaning the shop for Grandpa. So I'd go out and have to sweep up and things like that. And that's really how I got started.
So it was Grandpa who taught her how to cut, drill, and saw. Next thing you know, though, she was building her own furniture.
Started out in our basement, in backyard. I was making furniture and had very tolerant neighbors because it was everywhere, material as well as the furniture.
This hobby turned successful business is now celebrating 20 years. And it's the craftsmanship that creates the quality and comfort. So Deb, I'm guessing the first step is that I get to pick the color of wood I want to use.
Yes, you do get to pick your color, but it's not wood. It's actually recycled plastic.
Recycled plastic? Who knew milk jugs had so many secondary purposes? They can be lanterns, water cans, make great planters, and even patio furniture.
Most folks recycle their milk jugs. When you do, you take that to the recycling center. They reprocess it into these beads. So this is actually what I start with.
An extrusion machine takes the milk jugs and melts the plastic at about 280 degrees. That creates resin pellets.
Then we add what might be similar to a food coloring to get the different colors going. And at that point, we run it through a die that's the shape of a 2x4 or 2x2, whatever, and voila, lumber.
It takes about 240 milk jugs to make just one chair. Recycled plastic also has a list of advantages. Two of the most significant are being eco-friendly and maintenance-free.
We want the world to be here in 1,000 years for our grandchildren's children's children. So that's what we're all about, recycling. Lindsay, today we're going to make our most popular dining chair, and I think we'll do it in coffee because that'll match your hair real nice. So go ahead and grab two of those boards.
Watch your head, Deb.
Gently duck, everyone. Slide those on the table here. We're going to get safety glasses on. We should maybe have a safety suit. Safety first.
Yes, safety first in the cutting zone.
So we're gonna do an initial cut to make sure all of our boards are the same length. So you put it just barely in, clamp it down with one hand.
Green means go.
Keep that hand on the button, release this hand, and press the other button, and hold it till the saw drops. Perfect. Yep.
Just like that. All right. So this is Sam.
Sam I am.
So you're gonna help us give these boards some shape. This wood right here is going to end up looking like this when we're done. This is a CNC router, otherwise known as a computer-controlled cutting machine. Once you lay out the boards, you turn on a vacuum-like suction that keeps them in place. Push a button, green for go, and then watch it work. And nothing goes to waste, even these are recycled. In a matter of minutes, this multi-million-dollar machine carves out the seat frames.
I'm doing it 5 times faster, obviously, than I was in the basement of my home. An Adirondack chair now maybe would take, from beginning to end, 30, 35 minutes, where I was lucky to get one done in a day or 2.
So how do I get that to release or whatever?
See this little yellow pedal that you push them down to?
Oh, yeah.
With?
Oh, I do remember that. Okay, so I gotta push it again?
Yes.
Tap it?
Yep.
Much easier. This mess calls for one giant vacuum. The plastic shavings are then stored in large bags. It almost looks like bees or mosquitoes flying around in there. Now time for a quick break, but when we return, it's time to assemble. And I have a lot of questions. So Josh, what do we do with the fish? You're trusting me with this? Josh, how much faster are you at this than me? Uh-oh. We'll have the answers next on Made for the Outdoors.
Made for the Outdoors is brought to you by Banks Outdoors, Open Air Solutions, Central Boiler, and by Totem Resorts.
Welcome back to Made for the Outdoors. By the Yard is family-owned and operated.
Good afternoon, By the Yard. This is Mandy.
We do it all. Adirondacks, chairs, gliders, rockers, swings, chase lounges, several different table and chairs.
With so many options to choose from, no wonder there are aisles upon aisles of storage. There also are just as many Andersons as there are aisles.
You can't walk too far without tripping over an Anderson here. Lots of family. My husband actually owns it with me. There's lots of cousins and nephews, lots of Andersons here.
So now it's time to put the seat together, and this is Josh. He's gonna help me out. Hi, Josh.
Hi.
And apparently these are called fish. I didn't see it at first, but I'm seeing it now. Do you see it? So Josh, what do we do with the fish?
We are going to put the fish in the seat fixture and make a seat. We put the seat boards inside. Next, we will countersink them.
Countersink. I don't know what that does, what that even means.
This is a countersink.
Oh, so you're just making the hole a little bigger.
Correct.
You're trusting me with this?
Perfect.
Good.
Next step, we'll put the spacers for the seats. Now we put the screws in.
Make sure it's flush. Don't strip the screw.
Do not strip the screw.
Josh, how much faster are you at this than me?
A lot.
Uh-oh. I stripped the, I think no, is it fully stripped?
We'll take it out later.
So only one stripped screw.
Just one.
Just one? Not that bad?
Not that bad.
Okay, but we've got it fixed now.
We do.
So Josh, what's next?
Next, we got to take the spacers out and attach the seat to the swivel base.
Okay. Ta-da! Now it's time to work on the base. We've got Rick Anderson here with us. Imagine that, another Anderson.
Yeah.
What's it like having the whole family work together?
It's nice.
Okay, so Rick, so what do we gotta do?
You're gonna take 4 nuts and 4 washers. Okay, little more. That's good.
Swivel it.
Here's your seat.
Hey, that's what I made earlier.
We're done.
It doesn't look like a chair yet.
Well, you need a back on it yet.
Thank you, Deb. So we're finally to the final step, and it is putting on the arms, right, Rick?
Right.
All right, let's do it.
Does that look more like a chair?
A lot more like a chair. Well, I think the true test is gonna be when we sit in this thing.
Right.
Okay, Lindsay, the moment of truth. Have a seat in your chair.
Yes.
Guys, you think it's gonna fall apart?
Fingers crossed. Oh yeah!
Woo!
To success.
Good job, good job.
Cheers to having little faith in me, guys.
More and more, we're not able to gather around the table and eat meals like we used to, so you're using your backyard as a place to entertain or just hang out. Being a small family business, it isn't about selling furniture for us, it's really about creating relationships with people. It makes coming to work fun.
Maintenance-free outdoor furniture. 280 different designs. Made for the outdoors. And don't forget that the centerpiece of the party started out as a milk jug. Look at that swivel, Rick. Woo! That's right.